Arsenal came into it with a lot of talk. You know, we're going to smash Chelsea, and they didn't, man. Dan, you must be like very, very disappointed inside knowing that Chelsea with 10 men for large parts of the game, bro, you didn't do anything, bro. Let's be honest. You had, I think, the last chance where Gyökeres should have maybe headed it, but then I think Timber got it instead, man. You must be thinking, yo, man, 2 points drops, man. You get me? You got to feel like that, surely.
Yeah, bro, it was definitely missed opportunity to pull away. And I know some Arsenal fans are sat there really happy because it's not that bad and it's 5 points clear and all that. They're right, I suppose. Yeah, they're right. But I'm frustrated because I felt like we could have had a great opportunity to pull away. And let's be real, when you go down to 10 men, people can sit there and say it's harder to play against 10 men and stuff like that. But everything was for us there. Like Chelsea were there for the taking with 10 men. Their best player has just been sent off. There's no Cole Palmer. And I thought that it was going to be easier than I expected. I actually thought we'd win the game 2-1. I didn't think it was going to be a 4-0 like some people said. Or, you know, a lot of Arsenal fans were gassing it up saying this is going to be a spanking. But I never see it that way because it never is at Stamford Bridge, right? But I really felt like we could go there and make it difficult for them. And I think what I'm disappointed about, a lot of people will say, like, oh, you know, Arteta this, Arteta that. But actually, I was disappointed more with the team, to be fair, than the manager. I didn't feel like the team come out and turned up. I got to be real. I didn't feel like they wanted it. I felt like the Chelsea players wanted it more. And I felt like the Chelsea players come out and there was something deservedly, if I'm honest with you, even with 10 men. So, yeah, I don't think there was any kind of complaints from me in terms of how the refereed the game. I know he was dishing out yellow cards and stuff, but, you know, they were the one that went down to 10 men. We should have done better. I don't think we really created much, if I'm honest with you, although Sanchez was definitely the goalkeeper that was worked more than Raya. I will say that. So I think you could say Chelsea were good because they didn't lose the game, but I wasn't like, oh, this is a top Chelsea side. They're peppering us here. I don't think they did much, really. Obviously, it was like a good fight between both, but felt like it was more of a boxing match, really, than a football game at times, to be honest with you. I don't think we saw many beautiful passage of play, but maybe you guys can tell me different. Maybe I was a bit more emotional watching it, but I didn't look at Chelsea or Arsenal and think that's you know, excellent football. So I feel like both teams, it was more of a rivalry. It was actually more of a fight than what Spurs were going to give us in a proper North London derby. That was more of a rivalry. Let's be honest, that was more of a rivalry. You know, George can scrunch up his face all he wants, but it's true. And if I'm honest with you, I do feel like Chelsea actually
came away with anything you said. I was just, you know, processing things.
Okay.
I think Dan, yeah, I think obviously you're involved in the game, so you have like more of a emotional side to your opinion, you is involved. But as a neutral watching it, I've got to say I was very, very impressed with Chelsea, man. Very, very impressed with Chelsea. I thought the way Chelsea managed that game from start to finish was exceptional. Before Caicedo went off, I thought they were playing some fantastic stuff. Caicedo got sent. You started to get on the ball, make things happen, and everyone's thinking, here we go. And then within 5-10 minutes, Chelsea just started getting back on the ball, started making things happen. And to be honest with you, you wouldn't even know they were down to 10 men. I've got to give massive, massive credit to a couple of players as well here, yeah. Reece James's performance yesterday was absolutely outstanding. Fantastic performance. And listen, I'll do this as well, yeah, because I've cooked the guy a lot. But Robert Sanchez yesterday was incredible, mate. His distribution was top class. No, I ain't shameless. I'll be honest. Yeah, his distribution was out.
This LB,
top class.
Who's this imposter? Who's the real LB?
Wow. Shameless one, bro. No, honestly, the saves he was making I thought were great reaction saves. Diving in on that Gyökeres one, we knew he was going to get hurt big time because Gyökeres is sliding in. He was class, man. And big up to Chelsea, man, because they held in there. And you know what they did, yeah? Not only I thought they played some decent stuff at times, but the maturity, the maturity that Chelsea played with yesterday from quite a young team in a quite a precious situation. You've just gone down to 10 men. They play with such maturity, man. So, and I agree with Saeed, man. And towards the end, he was actually thinking Chelsea was the one that's going to score the goal, man. So now, big up Chelsea. I thought it was. As for Arsenal, it's again one of those Arsenal performances where it's sort of like lacking a spark. You kind of watching it, thinking, right, Chelsea down to 10 men. This is where you dominate and start just peppering the goals. And it's just like you're watching them sometimes, Arsenal, and you sort of like, where's the spark, man? Where's the life in that attack? And it wasn't there. And in the end, I agree, bro. I think it was 2 points dropped for Arsenal yesterday, considering the situation that they were in. So yeah, disappointed. I think both sets of fans will probably be disappointed with the result, if I'm being honest.
I think Chelsea will be more proud though. To be fair,
they're cool life, man. Let's just have it right. They're cool life, right? And Potts is saying about, I didn't really see Chelsea peppering us and all of these things. Broski, the goal was coming, yeah? Because we were getting ourselves in some dangerous situations before that red card. João Pedro actually let off his foot, right? Twice, not once, twice. That's 2-0 straight away before the red card. The game's completely different.
Yeah, but Don, you can't say that because we could say the same. Sanchez pulled off unbelievable saves. What are we doing here?
You're talking about.
You just said, if he shot and it went in, if it shot and it went in, it would have been 1-0. If Martinelli would have shot better, it would have been 1-0. If Marino would have shot better, it would have been 2-0.
But hold on. I never said you never had no shots on goal. You did have shots on goal, and they were very good saves. You said you weren't that impressed. You said you weren't that impressed because Chelsea didn't pepper you. I'm coming back and saying to you, the goal was coming. We could feel that goal coming, right? Because we was getting ourselves in dangerous positions in that first half. And like I said, João Pedro, bro, it might not have looked like a clear-cut chance to you, but João Pedro's got to shoot, right? You just let off a shot there, it goes in. Real was stuck in the mud, right? And it happened on 2 different occasions. After that, now you're getting more in the game. Rice is basically playing at centre back. You're getting more of the ball. It's now counter-attacking football. To be honest with you, our attack was shabby. In the final bit of product was shabby, bro. Second half, Neto. I don't know why he's short. He should have passed the ball. Gusto, the cross that he put in. Who else, bro? João Pedro, the header where Raya saved it. We weren't great in the attack. But my point is, Potts, with 11 men, the way that we were cutting through your team, right? The goal was coming, bro. I could feel the goal coming. Yeah, it just needed that.
Are you doing the lottery at the weekend? Are you doing the lottery at the weekend, Don? Because you can see into the future. The numbers are coming, bro. Get the lottery.
Don't be silly now. You've watched football long enough. You know when your team's playing well, and you know when the goal is about to come.
I'm not saying we're playing well, right? I'm not saying we're playing well.
Yeah, but you're trying to undermine what I'm saying. You're trying to undermine what I'm saying.
I'm trying to counteract what you're saying because as much as Chelsea put in a hell of a fight, I didn't look at my goalkeeper going, how the hell is he keeping us at 0-0? Like, what is happening?
I've just explained to you what happened, though. I've just explained to you what happened, bro. I've literally just explained it to you.
Your strikers,
our strikers didn't take the half chances that they got, and in the second half, again in the final third, we weren't great. And obviously, having one less man, we weren't building the way we was in the first half. It was different. The game changed.
John, do you know, to add on to LB's point, right? I feel like with you lot, fair enough for not losing the game, because when you went to 10 men, I automatically thought Arsenal go and nick this. I genuinely thought that Arsenal will go on and nick this game, because I agree with you. When you both had 11 men, you're the better team. But there's one thing I do want to say about Chelsea, yeah? I still think there's maturing to do, because yes, it's subjective, but the red cards, I know you've not had one in a while, but a red card in the magnitude of this game, it's becoming
a while. It's been like a month from. They've had a lot of red cards this season.
When I say a while, I mean that
they have a little pause, and then they've
had a little that's it. They've had a little pause, right? Yeah. But like these red cards now that are happening in games, and then you come on panels and Chelsea fans will be like, if we didn't get this red card, if we didn't get that red card, if we didn't get one against Brighton, we would have won. But when are these ifs gonna stop? When are your players actually gonna become disciplined? So you have 11 men to maybe see out a game. Because I actually agree with you, Don. If you had 11 men, you were in their ascendancy. I think you looked more threatening. Arsenal looked a bit timid. This is the first time this season I've seen Arsenal look timid and kind of play within themselves. But the minute you got there, for me, the minute you got your man sent off, there was no way you're going to win the game. Yes, you still did well. You went ahead. But Arsenal always going to knock on the door. They're going to grow in confidence.
Yeah, and you're right, bro. Because when we went down to 10 men, even the goal that they got, right, bro, they were getting a lot more space. Because now they threw on Odegaard, they threw on they threw on Odegaard and that. He came on and he was moving the ball quickly. He gives the ball to Saka. Bro, they were barely getting any space with 10 men, let alone with 11 men, because Caicedo would have been there, bro. Reece, we haven't spoken about Reece yet. He was playing the job of 2 players, bro. Yeah. So this is where Caicedo has to learn. You have to use this mistake as experience. You learn from this, because yes, it's a London derby, it's a rivalry, but calm it down a little bit, broski. There was no need for you to dive in like that when he did it, bro. You know what I mean?
Guys, can I say something though? am I bugging? Yeah, but did Arsenal find gaps when it was 11v11? I felt like they were passing nicely through the lines though, 11v11, which makes it even more crazier to think that. And this is where you got to give Chelsea more credit, that when it went to 10 men, Arsenal couldn't find the gaps anymore. But I do believe, though, when it was 11-11, Arsenal were finding a few gaps in between the lines, and they were getting at Chelsea.
They didn't have a single shot on goal, bro. They didn't have a single shot on goal.
Arsenal's passing was decent though in the 11-11.
Science point, yeah, because I've realized this. This goes for a lot of clubs. There's this thing where people think the minute you go down to 10 men, it becomes easier. It actually becomes harder, you know.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds mad, but if you realize a pattern in the last 2-3 years in the Premier League, a lot of our clubs, and I'm going to speak for the top 6, when a team goes down to 10 men, you think, yeah, we're going to blitz them now, but the team naturally becomes more compact. I feel like that's a lazy narrative to say, because I agree with you, Said. I feel like it's weird. When Chelsea had an extra man, I saw Saka was getting a lot of the ball. I know Cucurella did well against him earlier, but
he did well against him,
put crosses in. But it's like the minute Chelsea went to 10 men, it's like Arsenal found it harder. For me, it wasn't free flowing. They weren't finding that extra pass. And I've seen it happen to my club. I've seen it happen to City, Spurs, all of us. That when another team has a less player, we find it harder for some reason. When in theory it should be easier, but it doesn't work.
Right, Rob. They were better with 10 than 11. They scored for a start, and they actually looked like they were putting everything on the line for me. I thought their fight was much better than ours, man. They wanted it more than us. And I just think that showed through, man. I don't think Arsenal people are saying it's because of Bayern and Spurs. It's knackered it out of us, but
we had Barcelona.
Yeah, man. I'm not really hearing that one either. But I just felt like it was a shame we didn't really go out there and put it on Chelsea. I didn't think we needed to do the way we did. I thought we kind of maybe when it went down to 10, thought this will be all right now. Let's just chill it out. We'll be fine. But you can't do that. I agree with James. He's the best player on the pitch.